残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ
Yo, this is a story about a boy named Shinji living in the flooded streets of New Orleans. Kendo Shinji's father is a scientist, okay? So he built a giant robot for Shinji's birthday. Shinji's friend, Rin, knows how to bust a cap. When she's not fighting aliens, she's taking a nap. Without Asuka from Germany, everybody would be lost. Her country is responsible for the holographic map. Shinji said, thanks, Daddy, can I take it for a whirl? And use it to help my friends save the world. Now come on, Shinji, let's get this party on. And King Alien, what in your Evangelion? Yo, Shinji, get in the robot. Your dad loves you, get in the robot. The cockpit's too small for a grown-up. Kick some butt in your robot. Yo, Shinji, get in the robot. Your friends love you, get in the robot. Aliens get scared when you show up. Kick their butt in your robot. Yo, Shinji, get in the robot. It's not Eva, it's a robot. Don't eat a rice ball, eat a donut. Get inside that robot.
And welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of Cup and Joe with Joe and Joe. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my lovable, lovely, and wonderful co-host, Joe.
Good morning, Glenside.
That was a completely real coffee slurp.
I totally sipped that coffee.
Totally Sipped the Coffee was not a recording that we found 30 seconds before starting the show today at all.
Who would do that?
A couple of unprepared idiots, that's probably who.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We're at a bit of a different time. That's neither here nor there. Life happens.
It's the government's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Blame the government. That's all that happens. Alrighty. So welcome back, everyone, to episode 5, Cup and Joe with Joe and Joe. It is what's turning out to be a very hot day in Glenside.
It's toasty.
It didn't start off that way. It started off.
It was cold.
It started off. Well, it wasn't cold. It was just rainy and windy. And then all of a sudden it stopped and the sun came out and it's like, and now we're going to raise the temperature by about 30 degrees from what it was the last couple of days. And it is, let me tell you, Joe, it is hot. All right? It's too hot.
It's humid.
It's humid.
The humidity.
Humidity. Do-do-dap-do.
Boop, boop.
Exactly. Perfect. So that was the thing that we listened to in the beginning.
That was a Cruel Angel's thesis.
Uh-huh. The original version, the real, completely real version.
That was the Lost 4 Kids opening.
Uh-huh. The correct one, if you ask me. That's one they should have always gone with.
It's a beautiful opening.
It's the theme will emerge throughout the show with the songs we got going on. It's a bit of a
theme.
Yeah, a bit of a theme. We're going with a more weeb friendly playlist today. So we'll see what the other couple of songs are later on throughout the show, which that'll be fun.
Oh my god!
All right, so Joe, before we get into any more nerdy topics, let's go with a topic that I am very ignorant of: sports. Talk a little bit about
extreme sports.
I mean, I wouldn't call it extreme, but
it's a SpongeBob reference.
Okay, I haven't seen SpongeBob in a very long time. Continue with your sports vernacular.
Well, Joseph.
Yes.
This weekend, the men's soccer team had a game.
Right.
Of soccer.
Fascinating, truly.
At Hood College in Fredericks, Maryland.
That is too far away for a game.
It was a long trip.
How long, approximately?
About 3 hours.
That's too long.
And, Joe, we got a win.
Ooh.
A 3-1 win.
That is a high number. I'm used to you having 1-0 or just 1-1.
And Joe, with that win,
yeah,
we clinched the playoff spot. We're going to the postseason, baby.
Very nice.
Postseason.
I'm very proud of all the men's soccer players.
Thank you.
I'm sure you probably all put in plenty of hard work. I wouldn't know. I don't know how soccer works. For all I know, you could just be sitting there eating cheesecakes, specifically cheesecakes.
You know, people put in the work over the summer, and it paid off. it's what we got right now.
Fantastic. Good for all y'all.
It's looking up positive.
Mhm.
If we win our game next week, we get second place. Huge deal.
Second place
Huge.
in like
Like in the normal season, in like the main season, right? And then that would mean we would get the second place seed, which is really good for. We would play like one of the lower teams in the playoffs.
nice. Das is good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, Joe. Things are looking good.
Very good. Well, keep up the hard work. And when's your next game? Is it a home game or an away game?
It's a home game.
Ooh, okay.
Exactly 1 week from yesterday. It'll
So
be
next
our,
Saturday.
Yes, and it will be our senior day game since it's our last game at home.
Ah.
So we're gonna honor the seniors, but it's a big game too. Like I said, if we win, get that second place.
Very nice.
And it's also my mom's birthday that day.
Happy birthday to Mama Samino.
Mama Samino, happy birthday.
Mama Samino. Okay. Yeah, so if anyone would like to, I recommend go out and support them at their last home game for the year. Congratulations to all of you, and I hope you do very well in the upcoming game.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Lovely. All right, now on to some more nerdy talkings. Let's talk a little bit comic-wise, I'd say. Our bandwidth is low. I'm sure that's fine.
What does that mean?
It means that like
signal?
our rubber band, width, it's very yeah, exactly. It's very
I got
small.
a couple extras.
Yeah, we need to stretch it out a whole lot. It's starting to constrict. We're losing blood flow. That's what's happening.
That's not good.
Nope, it's
we
not
need
good.
to dilate.
Exactly. We need to dilate. Vasodilation.
Yes.
And
And constriction.
constriction. But we don't want the constriction part. We want the dilation part.
Don't want that constriction.
Um,
that may increase the speed of it.
Right. But we still want the dilation.
Yes. We want that.
We want
big-
higher bandwidth. All right. Where was I? Oh yeah, more nerdy things. Comics. So Joe, this week for me, unlike you because you only have one title that you pick up, but this week for me was a big week for comics. Got a lot of good stuff that came out this week, including the likes of Justice League Dark, which I've been following that I really enjoy. King Thor, which is something that I also find very enjoyable. But we're not here to talk about any of those. Now we're here to talk about something that I talked about a month ago, and that is Batman: Curse of the White Knight, number 4. That was so loud.
Who fixes this air conditioning? Like
It's
it's working, but it's making noises.
yeah, we'll fix it in post with the help of our Patreon members.
Support our Patreon.
But so Curse of the White Knight number 4, that came out, and let me tell you, Joe, it continues to be incredible. I love it.
It's pretty good?
I love every second of it. I have both copies again, both covers. One is up on the wall. I get 2, and I always determine which cover I like more, and then I immediately, when I get home, I bag and board it and put it up my wall. I don't even open it. I don't open it, Joe. I barely touch it. I touch the edges very slightly with my fingers.
I have only done that before with. I have a record actually, Joe, that I have never opened. I have Pink Floyd's The Wall, and I just haven't opened it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why. I always go back and forth about if I want to open it or not.
It's just one of those things where it's like it's so. I find it to be so nice and such a beautiful work of art. I'm just like I don't want to ever like ruin this. It's so beautiful, and so I put it into the bag and board, and it just right up on my wall, and I just keep it there, and I'll just look at it whenever I want to like have some inspiration, and I go back to it, and I'm like, that looks really cool. Because honestly, I'm working on my own comic, as some people might know. It's not like anything major. It's just something I do in my spare time for fun.
He's signed to Image, pretty much.
It's
He's pretty much. He's got a contract drawn up.
Absolutely not. I'd love
the
to.
Arcadia Publishing Company.
That would be kind of cool if we had something like that. We might actually. No, we don't have anything like that as far as I know.
We have a what is it called? Oh my goodness. We
A
have
blog site.
Blog site, but also a magazine and stuff like that.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
That shows how much I know about
Yeah, no.
life on Arcadia.
There is a lot of stuff that like I don't want to say it's. I think it's the media and communications department does.
Oh yeah, I think I've
but
seen
they
that
don't
before.
get a lot of support, which kind of stinks. Like my professor for the animation class last year, she was like the head of that department, and she was like felt so bad that nobody even knew that we had like this like it's not necessarily a newspaper, but like the magazine that
Right.
people do. But like they even like publish like movie reviews and stuff like that. Like you,
I never knew. Wait a
Yeah,
minute. We
yeah.
have. How
Yeah.
do you get this?
I don't know. You have to be a part of the club or something like that. But I know like
I would love
Polly,
if-
I'm pretty sure
yeah.
did communications and stuff like that with her.
So how do we? Do you have to be like a communications
I
major
don't think
to get
so.
stuff?
I think you just
Then where do
join the
we-
club and maybe. Yeah.
Nah, they should just like print that stuff out and have it like in the comments or something. You can just pick it up.
Yeah, I think it might be online or you can subscribe to it. No,
All right,
it's
we'll look
pretty
into that further, and then we'll find out how to do that because that might actually be really fun. I could do a little comic funny for them every week, like a
Right,
3-panel
right,
kind of a
why
funny
not?
thing. That'd be fun. Yeah. Oh, what was I? Oh, so like I have them up on my wall, the
For-
covers.
yep.
So every once in a while, because like, I'm coming up, I'm closing in. It's
On
only
getting
7.
the contract
I'm
signed.
getting the contract. No, on finishing the comic that I started last year around finals time. A great time to start any
No better
passion
time.
project, of
No
course.
better time.
It's only 17 pages, and I am almost done coloring page 13. So once I finish this one, I'll have 4 pages to go. Hoping to finish that up before the end of 2019. If I can get it done before the end of the semester, that would also be lovely. But I'm betting I might get one more done in the semester, and then I'll just go ham and do the next 3 while I'm at home over the holidays, sort of a thing. But hopefully I can finish it before the end of the year. And then also I was looking at them, and I'm like using them as inspiration to start getting ideas for the cover that I want to make because I've only done the interior so far.
Oh my god, you haven't done a cover.
No, I always save the cover for last because it's always like I want to finish the story and really get like a good idea of like where it all is. And then once I've done that, then I'll do the cover to really like be something that I can tie everything into. That way, in case I want to put like Easter eggs in it or something like that, then I can throw those sorts of things in at the very end and just be like, ha, if you pay attention to the cover, you would have been able to see this thing coming up later on or something like that. So it's
True.
like the cover I always find to be like a fun last like ending part of the entire thing once you've completed the story. Which again, my story isn't anything complex. It's literally like a 2-page script that has maybe like if you actually took out all the lines of dialogue instead of direction that I gave myself, it'd probably equate to about a quarter of a page, maybe half of a page. And that's because there's one character that speaks, and he speaks to one other character in the very beginning for a very brief amount of time, and that's it. And then he just talks to himself like the next, however many pages or whatever. It's just, if you look at the script, it's just loads of text in blocks that just say like, this character does this, or have this page showing so and so, or what. It's a lot of me having like ideas of how I want to like portray something, and then I just write it in there, and then I'm like, yeah, do that. So there's not a lot of writing going on with it, but yeah. So White Knight number 4 up on my wall, good for inspiration for that sort of stuff. Now the actual content of it, for those who remember the ending of White Knight number 3, do you remember what happened? There was an important thing that happened to a certain mustachioed character.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, what happened to him? Pop, pop, pop. I mean, it was more like a singular stab, but yes, he was brutally injured. So
He got pierced.
yeah, he got pierced right through the chest with a huge flaming sword, which does most people in. And at the time, I said, now, we don't know if he's dead or not yet because this is comics. And the thing about comics is that,
Nobody
no
dies.
one's dead until, they tell you they're dead and they've been gone.
We said we wanted to be able to not feel their pulse.
Right, through the pages of the comic. If we can still feel their pulse through the pages of the comic,
Joe and
they're
Joe
not dead.
episode 2 for reference.
Was that episode 2? Yeah, it must have been episode 2, because that would have been a month ago.
I think so. No, episode 2 we did Joker. Might have been episode 1.
Was it episode 1? Maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. But either way, he's dead.
He dead?
He dead. The beginning of the book starts off with it's an alternating each panel with Gordon being rushed to the hospital and Barbara, his daughter, running in to go see him, and tears streaming out of her face, and she's really mad at but it's Gordon being brought to the hospital in an ambulance, and then the next panel is like a flashback to Gordon dropping Barbara off at school when she's like really young, like in 5th grade or something like that, and she's like got like a bruise on her arm or whatever, and Gordon is just like, what happened here? And she's like, some kid pushed me or whatever, and then the next panel is like her running in to go see him as like they're operating on him and like trying to like defibrillators on
Make
him.
sure
Clear.
he ain't dead.
Well, they're trying to bring him back because he doesn't have a pulse right now. You can't feel his pulse through the page, Joe. And then it cuts back. Schnikes. It cuts back to the younger Barbara and Jim, and he's just like, don't let your mother know that I told you this, but whenever somebody pushes you, you push them back harder. She's like, you're a fighter just like me, Barbara. And then Barbara's like, yay, thanks, Dad. And then, she goes off and does her own thing. But then, we cut back to present day, and he's dead. And Barbara ain't too happy. She is actually very angry, as one would probably be. And so she runs off and gathers, all the things that she needs.
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts, exactly. Any weapons that she is going to use to then track down and she has the intent to kill. That's what she's doing. She's going in and she's going to kill Azrael. That's what her plan is. She's like, I'm taking this guy out, and that's like, oh my god.
She is giving out justice.
Yeah, exactly. She's giving out her own brand of justice. But she goes running off, and who is it? It's Bullock. Harvey Bullock. What?
Bollocks.
Bullock.
Bollocks.
I hate you.
Get it? Like how it's like something the British say. It's like a curse word.
I hate you.
But we can say it
Joe.
here because we're not in Britain.
I hate you.
Bollocks.
Stop it.
It literally is the same exact thing.
It's Bullock. It's
Bollocks.
Bull. I don't know the rest. I don't know how to spell the rest of it. I just know it's like Bullock.
Yuck.
Yeah, Bullock. I mean that actually sounds very close to what he would be like. But she runs into him and she's like, "Don't try and stop me." And he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna help you." And he cocks his shotgun and then he's like, "Let's go." And then Barbara's like, "All right," and they go off. And so, Dick tells Batman about this, and then Batman's just like, "We have to stop her before she does something she regrets or gets herself killed." So they go running off after her, and at this point, Batman has brought Harley, who, if you remember in the past issue, Harley was about to give birth to twins that she was having with Jack Napier, a.k.a. the Joker. And so Harley is out of commission for this book because she's just given birth. The babies are okay, but she's resting in a hospital wing or wherever the heck she is with the two kids. It looked to be a boy and a girl because one was dressed in blue and one was dressed in pink. So they're all fine, and then Batman and Dick go running off to go try and find Barbara and make sure that she doesn't do something she regrets. You then cut to Barbara, who is she's tracked down Azrael and his two goons, and they start a fight, and it's a really intense fight. It's essentially it's a firefight, like out of a war movie almost, because everyone is using guns, even like Azrael and Barbara, which when Batman finally arrives, he's like, "What are you doing?" sort of thing. But in the beginning, it's just Barbara and Harvey, and then Azrael and his two goons, and they're having a big old firefight, and everything is popping off. And then Batman comes in at the last second when Barbara has a shotgun pointed at Azrael's head, and she's like, "This is for my father." And then Batman batarangs that crap, and he's like, "No!" And he pulls the gun away just as she pulls the trigger. It fires, but it just misses Azrael's head, and you're just like, "Oh my god!" And then Barbara's like, "What are you doing? I had him right there." And then Batman's like, "What is wrong with you?" But, battle's still raging on, things are still happening, and then, I think Batman is pinned down by one of the goons, and then Azrael gets a hold of Barbara, and in this one big panel, he grabs her, by the wrists, and he's, behind her, so her back is facing him, and he knees her in the back, and this immense crack onomatopoeia just appears behind her, and I'm like, oh my god.
That's what it...
They just killing joked her.
Yeah, I was about to be like, holy crap.
I'm like, I was reading this book, and when that happened, everything clicked into place, and I was like, holy crap, they actually just did that. They just paralyzed Batgirl, which we don't know.
They gotta make that connection.
Obviously the connection. So we don't know, she passes out, and then Batman picks her up and, carries her off the battlefield, and that's the end of the book. The end of this issue is Batman, grabbing Batgirl and, picking her up and holding her, like a like a child or whatever, and he's carrying her off. And the look, like the last panel is just Batman, like with a tear rolling down his face, and he looks defeated. And his mask was partially shredded, so you see half Bruce Wayne's face, half Batman's face, and he's just carrying the limp body of Barbara. And that's how the book ends. So we don't actually know if she's like it hasn't been confirmed she's paralyzed yet, but there's no way she's walking away from this quite literally.
The crack there.
They wouldn't
and
have.
The fact that it's been done before with Killing Joke makes it so much more likely that it definitely is that.
Yeah, and so the thing that I really enjoy about this book that I will say, aside from the writing and the art, which I think is, I mean, all of it I think is incredible, but the fact that this is an Elseworlds book, so again, this book doesn't bother with regular continuity. It's not like, it's not like it's going to ruin standard Batman that everyone else is reading. Exactly.
It's a one-off.
Which is why, well, not a one-off. The one-off was the Tales from the Dark multiverse.
A one-off.
It's an Elseworlds, Joe. Don't try and talk like you know what you're talking about. Don't do it. I know more.
It's a little spin-off.
I mean, it's an alternate universe. It's whatever. But
The multiverse.
the multiverse. But you completely derailed my train of thought. Oh, I was saying because it is an Elseworlds book, they can do stuff like killing off characters like Jim Gordon and then breaking Barbara's back in a different way because it happened this way in this book and it happened the other way in the other books. So it's like, ooh, anything can happen in this book, which is it's really cool because Murphy has the ability to do whatever he wants with these characters, and it's proving to be great because you just like I couldn't. I mean, maybe if I sat down and thought about it for a while, I could have predicted some of the things, but it's making for a great read, and I really, really enjoy it. I'm very happy with all of it that's going on right now. So I'm just like, here I am talking about it again, and I'm eagerly awaiting number 5, and I can't wait for it to come out. And I did find out,
right?
Yeah, next month. So it'll be, I don't know, it'll be around like the mid-November time again or something like that. Which we might not. That actually might be when we're home for Thanksgiving, potentially.
We can sneak back in here and do the podcast.
Yeah, just I'll drive back up from Jersey just to come do the podcast.
I get here, and then I FaceTime you.
I was going to say, you call in. Call in.
We set up the mic.
Yep.
So it's perfect.
It's right next to the phone. That would probably sound horrible.
I want to know how this is going to work. With the help of our fellow Patreon followers, we can make this happen. Support us now.
Support us on Patreon.
There probably is a Cup of Joe on Patreon.
They're
probably
probably
getting mad money right now.
Yeah, from all of our hundreds and thousands of listeners. Totally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Number 1 fan.
Number 1 fan.
Katie Carlson didn't show up today.
No, but I chalked it up to the fact that I had on my story that we were going to be doing the show yesterday for 24 hours, and then we came on today at a weird time, and it's just, yeah.
Look, loyal followers are ready whenever we're ready.
Yeah, turn on notifications for Mixler. They probably have notifications.
Katie.
I have no idea. Don't call her out. This isn't her fault.
No signatures this week.
No signature? Oh, okay. Rightio. So that was White Knight. You talked about the Sockers. Do we want to play the next song?
Well, Joe, I was going to ask you something, actually.
Oh, okay.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Or do we want to play the song before the question?
Well, what's the question?
You ready to hear the question?
I'm ready to hear the question, Joe. Hit me with it.
What is the better trilogy?
Sam
Raimi Spider-Man.
Okay. Or?
The Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
Or Iron Man 1 through 3.
Well, Iron Man 1 through 3 is the lowest. It is, while I love Iron Man 1 with all of my heart, Iron Man 2, I also love Iron Man 2. I recognize it's not a great movie, but I really love it. And then Iron Man 3, I think is good. Like, it's better than Iron Man 2, but I personally don't love it a lot. So I would, like, personally, and just in the sense of, like, actual, probably, like, critical evaluation, the Iron Man trilogy is definitely the lowest. Dark Knight trilogy and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. That's a good one because the Dark Knight, they're so different. Like, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is just complete camp and, like, but Spider-Man 2 is so... But see, Spider-Man 2 is great, but also the Dark Knight is fantastic as well. Ooh. Ooh, Joy, have you done this to me?
I know my answer.
Oh God. Spider-Man 3 is bad, although it's not
It's
an
not-
immense train wreck,
It's not bad.
like everyone always says.
It's just not that.
It's bad, but it's not
No,
like
It's not.
it's
bad.
not like Justice League bad.
It's not even bad. It's just not amazing. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, this is so difficult. All right, hang on. I gotta pit these up one to one. Okay, so Spider-Man 1 against Batman Begins. I would say, I'd probably say I enjoy Spider-Man 1 more. That might be nostalgia factor. I don't think so. I know the special effects don't hold up nearly as well, but I don't care because they were great for the time, and that's fine. The storytelling in that movie is still really good. There are things about. I just saw Batman Begins like a couple months ago, and there are so many things in that movie that I find to be laughable, and I think it's because it tries to take itself so seriously. When some of the stuff is just really funny, like Christian Bale's Batman voice, I hate it. Like
Really?
I remember when I first heard it, I thought it would where's Rachel? Whenever anyone did that, I'm like, yeah, it's a funny line, sort of things you can use in a lot of stuff. But now every time I hear that Batman voice, it's so funny. It's so unintentionally funny, and I hate it. I'm like, this character is so. It's just not good. Like the Batman, like the Christian Bale Batman voice, I don't like it. And then there are things. There's not really. I mean, there are essential antagonists. You've got Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows, and you have Scarecrow. But the Green Goblin by Willem Dafoe, that's such a better villain in my opinion. Like I like his presence as a villain more, as opposed to like the other two antagonists in Batman Begins. So I would say in between the first entries, well, if it makes a noise, stop playing with it.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'd say Spider-Man 1 takes the cake. Spider-Man 2 and The Dark Knight, both fantastic continuations, both incredible. They both have really good sequences in all of them. However, I mean, obviously the Heath Ledger Joker is just in a completely different league than the Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, which I like Doc Ock, but I will say the Spider-Man for the PS4, that game, I think it did Doc Ock better, in my opinion, and there hasn't been a Joker aside from maybe, Joaquin Phoenix's, but that's a completely different kind of Joker. But there hasn't been another Joker in that sense to really capture you, like the character in that way. So I would say, as far as the second movies go, Batman takes the cake. It's close, but I mean, the fact that the Heath Ledger Joker just really ratchets it up a whole other level. So then, the third installments of each of their movies, very different. Spider-Man 3 has so many villains. It's got such a big villain problem. And so you can never really develop anything. The Sandman is good in that movie. Like, I love Sandman's character. He's great. Venom is whatever. And it's well known that Sam Raimi was like, I don't want to do Venom, but I'm being forced to do Venom, so I'm just going to do a really crappy job with Venom. And then, who else is in that? Oh, Goblin Jr. Got James Franco. It was James Franco. What's his brother's name? I tend to get him and his brother confused. You got James, and you've got, what's the other one?
No clue.
You have no idea? All right, well, it doesn't matter. Too many villains, too many cooks in the kitchen, and then The Dark Knight Rises. It's better in probably every way. Bane is really cool. Batman I find to be fine. I think I found my least favorite character in the Nolan Batman trilogy, aside from maybe Rachel, is probably Batman. I don't really think I like him all that much in those movies. That's something I've just realized that now. I think because I've seen him in so many other things done better, I don't know if I like Batman himself in any of those movies. The villains are what really make those movies. And because you've got Heath Ledger in the second one, and then you've got Bane in the third one, which is still pretty good, which is why I think the first one falls flat for me, because it's like you don't have that great of a villain in it. So between the threes, I'd say Batman takes the cake. So I'd say my ranking of those would go Dark Knight trilogy, Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and then the Iron Man trilogy.
I
Yes.
agree.
Oh, lovely. Then I guess we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Oh no, we gotta talk about how
Okay.
It was no question. It was the Batman one.
Well, it's because it really depends on what you're going for. Because like if you want like a fun time, then Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy all the way.
Batman trilogy
If you want like good cinema and like a darker take, then the Dark Knight trilogy. But it depends on what you want to do. Like I'm not gonna sit down with a group of friends and try to get invested into like if I'm sitting with a group of friends who haven't seen the Dark Knight trilogy before, I'm not gonna like. You're not doing that with a group of friends who hasn't seen it before.
Yeah,
like if
you
you
are.
want to, no, you're doing that with a friend or like maybe two friends, not like a group of people, because no one is going to pay attention and no one's going to catch the subtle nuances or the callbacks or anything like that. That's something you watch on your own or with a very small, like a partner or one or two other people sort of a thing, so that you can actually catch all that stuff. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is the one that you want to watch with like a group of friends, because that's just going to be fun and you're going to have a great time watching like a guy in a green Power Ranger suit flying around on a 2002 CGI glider. That's what you're going to do. That's what the group activity is right there. And then Iron Man, you can do whatever the heck you want with that, but, you know, only one is really worth anything. 2 and 3 are fine.
The Batman voice is fine, Joe. I don't know why you don't like it. I really like it.
I find it so funny and stupid. I'm like, this is... It doesn't age well.
It ages fine.
When was the
like
last time you
wine.
saw one of the Dark Knight movies, Joe?
On a bus ride to a game.
Like this year? Okay. Yeah, I saw mine on a
Dark
bus.
Knight Rises. It's amazing.
I think it's fine.
It's great.
I don't think 3
What
is
is bad
great.
about it?
I think 2 is great. I think 1 is... I don't want to say subpar. I'd say it's par. I don't really like Batman Begins all that much. I'm like... Because going from Batman Begins to like the Dark Knight, it's such a step up, and you don't actually need... Like, I mean, you probably kind of... It's good to have like the Batman Begins movie to like have seen that. But you can honestly, if you want to, just watch the Dark Knight. You don't need Batman Begins. You can just hop into the Dark Knight and just be like, I understand what Batman is, origin story, all that, blah, blah, blah. Good. Hop right into Dark Knight. It's a great movie. You can just do that. And then you can finish it off with, you know, the Dark Knight Rises if you want to. Because that's honestly a pretty good ending to the Batman character. But I don't think it's, like, great. I think only 2 is great. Dark Knight Rises is, like, good. Batman Begins is fine. Dark Knight is great. Dark Knight Rises is good. That's my hot take on the Dark Knight trilogy, Joe.
I give another hot take.
Okay.
The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie ever made. Greatest comic book / superhero movie.
Greatest comic book / superhero movie.
Yes.
Maybe.
No. Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to think on that for a bit, because there are
It
other
is.
ones that come to mind that I'm just kind of like, maybe. It depends on what you want to do. Joe, you haven't seen nearly all the superhero movies. You can't talk about this.
I've seen Catman.
What the hell? The
Cat-
Halle Berry Catman? Is that what you're talking about?
Catman? No, I'm talking about.
Oh, like Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah,
Catman
Adam
as voiced by
West.
Adam West? My God. Is there an actual series, like little spoof series that they did with that? Because if there was, I would love that. Like if they did like a
God,
couple of shorts here
no.
and there, and like put out like a web series with Catman, that would be great. Oh my God. If Adam West was still around, I would petition for that so hard. I'd be like, yo, guys, we gotta get a Catman like web series going. In the vein of like Red vs. Blue or Ruby or anything like that. Just like a couple episodic things. That'd be so great. Yeah, no, Batman is fine, good, and great. It just depends. What else would be, like, I don't think...
Nothing. It is the best. Final answer.
Because Joker is good.
Dark Knight Rises is better than Joker.
You think Dark Knight Rises is better than Joker?
Oh, Dark Knight.
Oh,
is
Dark
better.
Knight. Okay. It might be. It depends on what you want, sort of thing. I don't know.
The character of Harvey Dent is one of the best characters ever.
He is a pretty good character. You're right.
He's the antagonist, not the antagonist, the protagonist of the movie. If you think about it, it's not
I
Batman.
mean,
It's Harvey. Harvey's the one
Right.
that goes through change.
Yes, he is the one that goes through change. I mean, Batman also goes through. Bruce Wayne also goes through some change. It's a slower sort of change, not nearly as dramatic as because Harvey literally goes from the White Knight to the Scum. It's like he wrote a villain. It's literally a complete flip. It's like a Heisenberg. It's like from 5 seasons compacted into one movie sort of thing, which is good. But yeah, I don't, because they handled them. How many you had? Joker, you had Two-Face. Those were the only 2 villains that you had in the movie, right? Okay, so not as many as Spider-Man 3, but and it was good because you didn't actually have the second villain until the last third of the movie, which was good because you don't want to start it off with you want to see the descent and anything like that. So it is good. I don't know. I just in my heart of hearts, I don't know if I want to say immediately it's the best comic book or superhero movie. I don't know. I'm not sure, Joe. I'll have to think about that. You're doing so much right now, but no one will know because you're not actually making any noise. Yeah, there you go. He's making weird faces. He's nodding or shaking his head.
I just want some agreement. That's it. This is a democracy. You agree with me.
That's not how that works, Joe.
I'm sorry. This is the anarchy.
Dear God.
It's an oligarchy.
It's an oligarchy.
It's a polygamy.
It's an Olive Garden. That's what this is.
Roll the next song.
All right, yeah, we're gonna roll the next
We're gonna
song.
beep bop yo beep.
We'll get what?
Beepity bop boop.
Skibidi bop bop beep bop dang. What we're gonna do is just give us 1 second. All right, I did it. Here it comes. And here we go.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
That was Tank! Cowboy Bebop opening.
Jazzy.
It's so good. It is considered one of the best, if not the best, anime openings of all time.
It's pretty good. But I wouldn't consider it the best anime opening.
I think it's better than Cruel Angel's Thesis, which is I think where you're
But
going to say it's wrong.
but this is anime openings gotta have some crazy ass like intense singing. Like that's just good music in general. And like
Right, okay, so I'll give you this. I think
a
it's
good
a better
opening.
song.
Yes.
But I think the Cruel Angel's Thesis is a better anime opening.
Thank you.
Specifically, yes. But I will say Tank is the far better song. Because that
It's a
is
great
just
song.
It's so good.
But when it comes to like what an anime opening should be, no,
Right.
It's still
but
missing
this was
some
also this actually I was gonna say this was like the when did Cowboy Bebop, was that 80s 90s? I can't remember when that came out.
I think it was 90, 91.
Yeah, it was early 90s. I was gonna say
Let's go
but
to
this
the archives.
was take it a look. Take a look. We have the power of the internet for this. I was gonna
Cowboy boop bop.
Cowboy Boot Bop Beat.
Cowboy booty bop.
What?
I don't know. What are you saying?
Be boop.
Yep.
Let's see here. Dun-dun-dun.
When did it come out?
Crap.
Work that telephone.
First episode date.
Yeah.
Give me a guess.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, 92.
Your final answer.
Yeah, I don't care. 98. All right. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like somewhere in the 90s, and then I know that Evangelion was like 80s or something like that. So I was gonna say like maybe this was before anime openings were really a thing, but then it's like nope, this came out afterwards. Yeah, but so that was Tank. All right, so speaking of music and the likes of it, I believe there is something that you wanted to discuss a little bit, Joe.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Alexander Hamilton.
Dear God. So,
It was beautiful.
yeah.
It was awesome. Dream come true, Joe. Let me tell you, Joe. Getting there, it was nice. Went out to dinner. Got some great Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
Walked over to the theater. Beautiful
The theatre.
That beautiful theater.
You know, we walk over to the theater, and then we get out the big binoculars that you put up to your eyes, and then we take a look down to the stage. We so high up, we're too high. Not in sense of, the too high. No, too high, like vertically. We're on a massive wall, okay? Really high up, at least 3 feet. At least 3. Yes? We?
Yes. Anyway,
Continue,
well,
monsieur.
thank you.
Omelette du fromage.
I like omelets.
Si, signor.
No hablo español.
Monkey took your potato.
Me gusta Roberto.
All right. Continue.
Anyway, so the theater was beautiful, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Forest Theater down in Philadelphia, and
Mm.
it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous inside. A bunch of people were there. Just a good night out. Good old Sunday night. Get in there. And I've never been to a play before. So,
Oh, this was your first one?
yes.
Like you never went like in high school to see a production or anything like that. You just
I think I might have met maybe in grade school. I went to like my grade school production, but like I've never been to an actual play or like any play like that in the city.
like one with
So
professionals.
and just to like show you that I didn't know, I didn't know you got the playbill for free. I thought you had to pay for it. I said.
This goon.
We sat down and I saw the one with the playbill. I'm like, oh, where'd you buy the playbill?
Would you buy the playbill?
She's
Oh
like,
my
you
God.
get it for free. I'm like, oh, you just ask an usher. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, just ask someone. Jesus. All right.
I was waiting for it to be like $5.
I mean, it's not like a movie theater where they nickel and dime you for everything. They nickel and dime you for a lot, but not a playbill.
Well, I got my playbill and I established myself as a rookie.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you about these seats.
Yeah.
4 rows from the front.
Nice.
On the right-hand side, right orchestra. Ready for this?
Yep.
Joe, come look at this picture.
Oh, wow, this is so entertaining for everyone to see. All right, I'll describe this for everyone. So directly in front, you have 2 maroon chairs. Sitting in it are 2 women,
Beautiful.
approximately age 65 to 75. both with short hair. One's more blonde than the other. One looks like she was probably blonder, but it's now faded to more of a gray. Directly in front of those two ladies, you have what looks to be a young man, short black hair, and a hoodie on of some kind. It's not like a teenage boy hoodie. It's a nice hoodie, maybe a cardigan, not a cardigan. I don't know what word I'm looking for. It's a nice sweatshirt. What more do you want from me? And then you have that looks like the stage. So it looks like there's only 2 rows in front of you, but there's 3 rows in front of you?
Yeah, it was like 3.
Okay, so then there's a 3rd row that I can't see, and then you have the stage, and the stage looks lovely, as always. It looks exactly how I remember it. With all the second leveling and everything like that. Very nice. So you were real close up there, and you said you were next to the right side orchestra?
Right side orchestra.
Mhm.
And literally so close you could see them spit when they talked. Literally, I felt like it was about to land on me. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty damn close.
Wow, the realism. It's like it's 3D or something.
Yeah, no, and it was packed house. I want to know something, and I was a little confused by this, right? There was a lot of old people there.
Yeah, what do you...
Now, don't old people not like rap?
Yeah, but see, they really like history, so that's the catch-all for them. They're like, ooh, but history.
See, my mentality is I feel like these are the older people that have like season tickets to the theater.
Oh, so
and
they just come
go.
because...
Yeah, they're probably like, oh, I heard this thing's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they show up and Alexander Hamilton starts rapping and cursing. They're probably like, oh, Lord.
They probably
this?
love it.
This isn't the sound of music.
No, they probably all love it. I guarantee you that's like if they do have those passes, they probably see Hamilton at least like 5 times a year, and they know all the words, and they have better flow than any of us at this point.
I
they're
was just
so
really surprised
skilled.
to see so much old people.
Can you imagine like your grandmother or grandfather just starting to like bust out a flow from Hamilton to you?
I'd cry.
I would be so impressed. Like I don't know what I would do if like either my grandmother's or my grandfather was just all of a sudden started rapping like a line from Hamilton. I'd be like, you are crazy. You are insane. But
Excuse me.
Jesus.
It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
It was so good. It was nice to finally see the thing that I've been listening to for like 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. You
And
play it all
I have
the
no
time.
image in my head. I just listened to it. And it's interesting. For the most part, visually, it was what I imagined it to be. The choreography is amazing. But I will say there were a couple of times where, like, the way that they, like, sometimes, like, in my head when I was listening, I'm like, oh, like, the way I imagined Hamilton acting in this scene or, like, the way that the mood the scene was, I thought it would be happy.
Uh-huh.
But then when they actually acted it out, it seemed like serious or sad, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was not what I was expecting." Like the one scene is when he gets discharged home, and he finds out that his wife is pregnant.
Right.
And when I was listening to that, I'm like, "Oh, he's like really happy." But then when you're looking at it, he gets like not happy at all and very nervous and like very like stressed out, and I was like, "That is not what I imagined."
Yeah, he's gonna be a dad. That's so stressful. I'm not ready to be a dad.
He was like, "Oh my Lord, I'm in the middle of a war,
Yeah.
and I'm a father."
I'm in the middle of a war. I'm about to be a father. Yeah, you have all that coming out. Yeah,
And
it's
George,
like,
George
oh,
is getting a
God.
little mad at me,
Yeah, and good old Georgie, he's getting a little
Little,
peeved.
a little PO'd.
Jesus.
But no, it was amazing, and it was so I cried so many times, and then once it was over and everybody like stands up to do the applause, I literally was like wiping tears out of my face. I'm like, it was great.
It's been so long.
It was so emotional. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you finally got to go and see it after, fanboying over it for this long.
It literally was a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dream come true.
So are you satisfied now? Like you never want to see it again, or it's like you want to try and see
Oh
it
my
as many times
goodness!
as you
If
want
I could
to?
see it, if someone was like, "Yo, I got tickets, I'm going."
You going?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna actively try and buy tickets.
Right.
again.
Yeah. So you've done it now, but if the opportunity arises yet again, you'll be like, yeah, let's go do it.
Listening to it after seeing it is actually very interesting now.
Because now you have, now you have completely new context for how most of the songs should make you feel, like when he comes home after being discharged. So that's something cool to think about, because it's like you didn't have the context
I had
beforehand. Now
no
you have the
clue.
context.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of things that we love to talk about without context, let's talk about that Star Wars trailer that just dropped on, what was it, Sunday? Monday?
There's a reason we played a Cruel Angel's Thesis today, let me tell you.
Oh, right, yeah, because of the robot Palpatine. Okay, so, yeah, tail spinning into a completely new topic here with whatchamacallit, Star Wars. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, the end of the Skywalker saga, as they're calling it. A lot of things are coming to an end this year. Like, this is the year of, like, stories ending.
And isn't that weird? Because we have a new decade beginning, 2020.
That actually
Isn't that
makes a
weird?
lot of sense. That's really cool, though. But, like, let's count it off. What ended this year? We had the end of the Infinity Saga with Endgame.
Big deal.
We had the end of Game of Thrones.
Big deal.
Big deal. We had not as big of a deal to a lot of people.
We're going to have the end of Attack on Titan.
That's not this year.
I think so, yeah.
Well, it's not ending this year. It's ending next year.
Well, it depends when it ends. It will be close. We're getting towards the end. Keep going.
Right. Not as big as the other two that I said before, but the ending of the Call of Duty zombie storyline that had been going on for just as long as the MCU.
Goodness.
Which that was a
The
big
Harry
thing
Potter
for...
saga ended this year.
What?
It's a joke.
Try again.
It didn't end this year.
No, it didn't. And then we're gonna have good old Skywalker saga ending this year. Although I'll believe that when I see it, meaning that
Star Wars will forever have money ripped out of its butt.
what does that mean? What do you mean by that? Like they're
You
gonna
gotta keep
lose
pulling.
money, or they're just gonna?
No, they're gonna try and pull as much money out
Oh.
of the name Star Wars as possible.
Well, yeah, no. Star Wars will continue. We know that's gonna happen, but it's gonna be a new trilogy apparently, and like other like new movies that are gonna be going on. And apparently, it's not gonna be in the Skywalker saga. It's just gonna be like other things that happen, like in Star Wars Rebels or something like that, where it's like a completely different story sort of a thing. Or I mean, Rogue One was still in the Skywalker saga; it just followed different characters. But, you know, regardless, it's apparently the end of the Skywalker saga. So, you know, we watched the trailer. We got a good goosey gander at it. We went through a couple of different frames to try and see some different stuff. I've seen a couple of different breakdowns of the trailer, just
I
seeing
didn't
what
get
other
to
people are
watch any
talking about.
breakdowns yet.
It's nothing.
Oh wait,
that-
no, I did. I watched the JJ one.
Okay. I just want to say, like, it's nothing that we were really, like, we didn't know already.
Yes.
It's like, there's not, aside from, like, one or two things, like, you know, oh, hey, this character appeared in this movie or whatever. It's nothing, like, major that we wouldn't have known anyway. But, what are your initial impressions upon watching this trailer?
I mean, I want to be hype. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. And like when I saw the trailer was dropping, I'm like, oh yes, I forgot about this. I mean, I shouldn't have forgotten about it. That's your first mistake.
Right.
And then I did it. I watched it, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty excited. But like, I don't know. I felt like Force Awakens was actually really good. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Last Jedi was a mixed bag. So many good things, but then also so many things just could have been cleaned up.
Right.
And then this one, it's like it's up in the air. Who knows? Maybe it's amazing.
Right.
It could be a great closure, and I don't know. No, I obviously want to see it, but like, I'm nowhere near. I was really hyped for Last Jedi. I don't know why. I was super excited. Literally, the poster was my background on my phone for like months.
Wow, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it was my favorite. It's one where it's split down in the face with Luke on one side and then Rey on the other, and the lightsaber going down the middle.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't like that poster. I thought it was weird. I don't like...
way.
I liked the Force Awakens poster a lot. The Last Jedi poster and then the poster for this one, like, I don't like either of them, the last couple of Star Wars posters. I don't know who they've gotten there designing these posters now, but they need to kick it out. Get someone new in there. Get someone different. They're not good looking posters.
The newest one you don't like?
No, the one of like Rey and Kylo like in the rain, like launching themselves at each other with their lightsabers. Right, that was the first promotional image. Poster that they got. That it looked like a like some student's Photoshop job. I was like, this isn't good. This is not good at all. That and like just the whole composition, like the layout of it. It was no. I didn't like it, Joe. I did not like it. But
I found it. It wasn't Luke and Ray. It was Luke and Kylo. But like,
yeah, that's what it was.
Look,
I mean,
look how badass that is.
I will. It's in its simplicity. It is nice. I will
love
say
it.
that.
I love the lightsaber going down the middle, changing from blue to red.
Which might be a possible nod to Rey becoming more of a dark side user, according to
a little bit more of a spookier person, if I do say so.
According to some other shots in this trailer that we have, but
it works really nice too, because like when you make it your background, it goes right down the middle where the apps aren't there, so you can see it. You can see the lights here. It's really.
They knew what they were doing when they made it. They knew.
They knew.
But yeah. So I'm in the same boat as you, where it's the funny thing because obviously you're lovely. For all those listening, Joe has just showed me a picture of what I believe is him last week wearing a Yu-Gi-Oh wig. It was only last week. Anyway, initially when we watched the trailer, you were super hype.
I was.
You were incredibly hype, and I was you at that point, and I was like, I don't give a crap. I saw the trailer. I knew it was coming out, but I'd also forgotten that. I was literally hours beforehand. I checked YouTube because I didn't know whether because I don't watch sports. I knew it was dropping during the football game. I checked to see if it was out yet, and it wasn't. So I went about my night. And then you came in, you're like, hey, it dropped. And I was like, oh, that's right, it did. And so we watched it together. You were hype, and I was like, I don't care. I just don't. And my feelings towards it have shifted a little bit after watching some breakdowns and people speculating about what stuff is. But also that's the thing where it's like people talking about speculation stuff. So much of that never comes true. And the only thing that gets me hyped is what I think would be like really awesome things, like Rey or Kylo completely flipping sides, where like one becomes like Rey becomes evil, or I don't know if like evil is the right term, but changes perspective and becomes the antagonist, and then Kylo Ren becomes our protagonist. If we had something like that, I think that would be really, really cool. As long as you do it, well, and give it the kind of development that it needs. Which I don't know if you'd be able to do that in one movie, but who knows? Again, Harvey Dent got great development in one movie in Dark Knight, so I think you could do it, and I would love that. However, based on just what I know studios are like, and the idea of taking Disney, and the idea of taking their golden girl Rey and flipping her, they're never going to do that, because then no kids would want her toy, and then that would be like, oh no, toy sales are down, and then you just get a mediocre story. So I am
do it for the nerds.
Do it for the sake of good storytelling. Just do what you think would make a good story. People will respect that and love the movie more for that. But it's all about selling toys and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just sort of like, I don't care. I've never been the biggest Star Wars fan. I don't quite understand why it's like the biggest thing on the face of the planet, or was one of the biggest things on the face of the planet. I thought the original trilogy, like 4 through 6, was fine. They're okay, good. They're good. I'll say they're better than Batman Begins. They're good, all right?
Goodness.
They're good. You got what's 4 called? A New Hope. I couldn't remember for a second. Yeah, episode 4, A New Hope. It's good. I enjoy it. Empire Strikes Back, great. I really enjoy that one, and most people also do. And that one has like the darker ending sort of a thing, even though it ends with hope as well, which I guess Last Jedi also sort of did, but Last Jedi is again a mixed bag of things that we might talk about later on.
So much stuff. It's not bad. It really isn't. Yeah,
it's not bad. We'll delve into this maybe in like a later episode when we get closer to the release of the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I had like a mini stroke trying to say that title. That's how much I don't care about this new movie. I'm having so much difficulty just remembering these details about it. But and then Return of the Jedi, I did not like Return of the Jedi. I think that's the weakest one out of the original trilogy. I like the Ewok planet and everything like that.
Yes,
and
it's the best
Of
part.
course you would love the Ewoks.
I love the Ewoks. They're my favorite characters.
Bloody Spoon. I hate you so much.
They are literally the most badass characters. They literally just throw rocks and like kill.
I
the
hate you so
stormtroopers.
much.
It's hilarious when they come swinging down on like the Tarzan rope and they're like, ah! They take them out. It is the funniest thing ever. The Ewok surprise attack is the greatest scene in the whole Star Wars saga.
Oh my god, no.
I love it.
Have you seen the clip of when they're all at the very end of The Last Jedi, or Return of the Jedi?
And it's the party.
It's the party, and Lando is clapping, but he's not clapping like on beat at all. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up because the audio would actually play too, and I think it's hilarious. Let me look this up. Return of the Jedi, Lando clapping. I think. God, I want to find this. Where is it? This has to be somewhere. I saw it in. There was a Mr. Sunday Movies video where he has just this clip, and it's just it's like the entire rest of the scene is silent, and it zooms in on Lando, and it's him clapping, but they insert the clapping sounds so you actually hear where the claps would be, and the claps go like, I can't find it on here, but the claps go like. And it goes on for like 15 seconds of just him clapping, but to no discernible beat. It's just random claps, and it's hilarious. I can't find it on here, but it's something to look up if you want to try and find something that you think would be really funny to look at. I would highly recommend just looking up that. It's fantastic. Right, but so like this trailer, we haven't actually talked about the trailer like at all.
All right, this I completely agree with JJ and the fact that there's literally it gives no plot. Literally, I'm just seeing a bunch of things happening. I have no.
I mean, I think it gives a plot.
What?
It's just
No.
we don't really
What is
know.
the plot?
Well, I mean, they go to the Death Star.
Yeah,
and
but
then-
I'm trying to say, like, we knew what the plot was in The Last Jedi. Like, it was like finding Luke and training.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this, like I can't tell what this movie's about.
I mean, if we distill it down to that, it's. Yeah, you're
I
right.
don't know.
I don't
like,
know.
I feel like you just can't tell what the movie is.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Like, give me some plot. Let me know, like, what's
no,
gonna
don't
be.
give anyone plot. People complain about getting plot from trailers, and then people complain about not getting plot from trailers. It's a trailer. If you watch it, be glad you got a trailer. And then there are the people out there that don't watch trailers because they don't want anything. Like, my dad never watches a trailer for anything because he's like, I don't want to know anything about the movie. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that people like that existed before the age of the internet, but apparently he's been like that forever. So that's something funny that I found out about him. But yeah, if you watch trailers, just watch the trailer and know that it's probably fine. If you don't watch trailers, good for you. Have fun, enjoy the movie on your own. But actually getting into some of the Star Wars stuff in the trailer, finally, it starts off. Rey is running through a forest or something like that. We don't know
Doing
what
some
planet it
exercise.
is. It looks like it might be Endor.
Working on her pace.
Yeah, working on our pace. We're not sure if it is Endor though, or not. There are most of the shots take place on like that ocean planet where the Death Star has landed. We don't actually know what planet that is. If that's just like another part of Endor or like one of the moons of Endor or whatever the heck it is. Either way, it looks great. Like Star Wars always looks
Beautiful.
great. But I mean, especially the shot of her and Kylo Ren in the throne room, the decrepit throne room.
Yeah.
I know what scene you're going to talk about, but like the scene with it in the destroyed throne room, that shot, like that could be a screensaver. That's beautiful. The way like how everything looks when it's all like destroyed and it's been
all coming
soaking
full
the
circle.
ocean. Yeah, so it's like, I'm interested to see where it goes, but again, I'm not super excited for it. But the shot that you were going to talk about, I'm assuming, was Kylo Ren walking out of the wave
Badass.
with the lightsaber. That is also a
Bad
great.
ass.
It's so cool. I love the character of Kylo Ren. I really do like him because he is
He's
so.
awesome.
He's not black and white. He's got so many different layers inside of him, and you don't quite know what he's going to do. Like when he killed Snoke back in Last Jedi, that was something that I thought was awesome. I was like, holy crap, that's really cool. The way he like deceives Snoke, where he's like, yes, I see you turning the blade and like turning it on, and then he does it, but you see that he's turning his hand with Rey's lightsaber, which is Luke's lightsaber, which is Anakin's lightsaber. That lightsaber's passed through so many people. That lightsaber's it's put it in a museum. Just keep it there. It's been through enough people. All right, that lightsaber's such a whore. It's gotta settle down with something.
Say that. I was like, what? I'm like, he's definitely gonna say something like that.
It was such a great setup. But yeah, and also Kylo Ren's lightsaber. I love that lightsaber. Do you remember the first shot that we ever saw that lightsaber in?
It's in the woods.
Yeah, the trailer
Yep,
in the woods where he's walking and then he's like doing the lunge and then the 1 and 2 when the two crossbeams come out.
It goes across the snow or whatever, I think.
Well, not in the original shot. In the original shot, it's just 1, 2, and then it cuts to black. And then it cuts to like the next scene in the trailer, whatever. But it was such a great intro to the lightsaber, even if it was memed into the ground with like the Swiss Army attachments in like lightsaber form. I was like, my God, this is insane. But I remember in high school, like during classes when I would doodle that lightsaber specifically and like different variations on it. And I thought it was really cool. But I really like Kylo Ren's character. So I hope they do something interesting with him. I hope he's not just like another Vader or Emperor that they kill off, which obviously I don't think he will be, considering that we see him fighting with Rey, it looks like at one point, and
Against
also the fact that he's
was
been
in
set
carbonite.
up. Yeah, I don't know if it was in carbonite or if it was just a statue or whatever the heck it was. It could be. I have no idea. People say like they see Vader's helmet flying out of it or whatever.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. I don't think it looks exactly like Vader's helmet, which is why I'm hesitant to say it. It might be. I have no idea. We haven't seen the movie. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what it's going to be. What I'm not interested to see is more of the Finn Rose subplots. I'm just, like, I saw what was it? It was all of them riding on those space horses on the hull of a Star Destroyer that was in space. And I am very concerned that we're going to have another weird subplot, but I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. Man, I sound so like pessimistic right now. I'm just like,
This movie sucks. This movie
sucks.
sucks.
No, I don't think it's gonna suck.
You guys ever seen Blade Runner 2049?
2049.
That one's pretty good.
It's
I
great.
really like
It's
it.
the best movie of all time. If anyone says it's not, you're wrong.
You guys
But,
ever watch the Ether storyline?
What?
You guys ever watch the Ether storyline?
Oh, you're talking about the Aether storyline from Zombies.
Yes.
Okay. We're not gonna get into that. That's too. There are so many Richtoffens. You know how many Richtoffens are in that story?
Who's Rick Toff?
Richtofen is a character. You know how many there are in that story?
7.
There's at least 12. All right? At least 12. Probably closer to about 200, but we're not going to get into that. Yeah, any final thoughts about the trailer?
I want it to be good. I remember like watching The Force Awakens and I thought it was great. I really did. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just want it to be good. And don't be afraid to be unique.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to be
Don't play
unique
it safe.
and do your own thing. I know Ryan Johnson was unique in his own way, and he made his thing, and a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people do like that. Just do your own thing. Like, don't compromise. I think the biggest problem with Ryan Johnson's movie is that there was some compromise.
Show that there is a reason for this trilogy to exist. Make there a reason to say these characters are gonna be getting changed to the end. Make it have some significance.
Right.
Instead of right now, I mean, the only real significance, I don't know, is the whole Luke dying or like
Right.
being one with the Force now, and it's like, I don't know. I want it to have an impact on the world, an impact on the story, and not just be like, oh, we did this, and there's really no progression.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't actually know that much progression. Even like the prequels, the progression of that was you saw the fall of the Republic and the Jedi and the rise
That
of
is
Emperor
a
Palpatine to
huge
power
deal.
and the development of
Yeah,
Darth
for
Vader.
all of the shizness that the prequels get.
It changes a lot. Like, you see how the world or the galaxy was, and then you see how it's changed by the end.
Yeah.
Even if it's not done perfectly, which a lot of it isn't, you still see the change.
It has, and there's a reason for it to exist. Well, yeah, I'd say there's a reason for it to exist. It does the Vader storyline. You find out, and the whole, what Order 66 was.
Yeah, exactly.
Order 66.
Execute Order 66. And then the original trilogy, you have, it's
Just a great story.
yeah, it is a great story with like the rise of a Jedi again, the New Hope, with
Is
being
learning
Luke.
about the world.
Yeah, you
like,
learn about the world through that.
It's just
and then,
it literally is like a space odyssey type of deal.
yeah, well,
And
a
it's awesome.
space opera.
Opera.
That's what you mean.
Same.
No, not 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's very
um,
different. Very different.
Very different movie. But yeah, and then like by the end of that trilogy, you've got like there is it's the resist no the what's the is it the Resistance, the Republic in the new trilogy? I can't remember. It's the
I
Resistance,
always get
right?
them messed up.
I think it's the Resistance, and then it's like the Rebels are the original trilogy.
Rebel scum.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's how we can tell. It's because when you hear Palpatine say "Rebel scum," it's not Resistance scum. It's the Rebel scum.
You
So
are
it's-
hereby under arrest by the Senate.
I am the Senate.
good old Chief Palpatine. But yeah, so it's like you got the Rebels. They retake control, and they reinstate whatever new form of government they got. You got Darth Vader coming back around and being a decent person by killing someone who's worse than him. So that's, I guess, redemption. And then you have Emperor Palpatine getting like chucked into a big old hole,
And he went boom
and he went boom.
until he found his Ava.
Yes, until that's right. So the reason we ended up playing the Evangelion theme in the beginning, bringing this episode full circle, is the fact that in the one shot of the new trailer, you see Rey in what I think is like a vision, because there's based on like where she is, there's nothing there, so I think it's a vision. But then you also see a shot of her backing away from someone, and one looks like a big mechanical like chair or something like that, and so. We saw that and immediately thought of Evangelion, in which people just get into big mecha robots and fight angels and things like that. So
The cockpit's too small, so only children get in.
right, exactly.
Adults can't.
Shinji, get in the robot.
Your dad loves you.
Get in the robot. Right. So
His dad doesn't love him.
no, I mean I think he does, but
No,
he's
he
not a
doesn't.
good dad.
No.
He's a very bad dad. Anyway, so yeah, Star Wars trailer. It's come. It's gone. People are
People will forget about it until like December.
yeah, pretty
and
much.
and then the hype will come back.
Yep.
And then. it's
And then
all-
something else will happen.
Yeah.
Like I think Black Widow movie is coming out early next year, so that'll probably pick up steam and then start doing its own thing. It's just we live in a time, mate. Such a time. It's just everything just keeps steamrolling over everything else. It's just like yeah, you have this, then you have this, then you have this. It's like it just keeps coming, just keeps coming. When do you think the bubble's gonna burst on like all this nerdy stuff? Like when will people stop caring? Or at least enough people stop caring that it stops becoming profitable, and like companies are like, maybe we should hold off on this and not pour hundreds upon millions of dollars into all of these movies.
Never.
Never. It's just gonna keep going.
Nerdy stuff will always be popular.
Nerdy stuff wasn't popular until like 15 years ago.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Shall we close this off? Should we close? I feel like we're ending on a very dour note here. You didn't even move the mic. Oh boy. On a more positive note,
How should we end this?
more positive note, we are expecting. No. I don't know how to end it.
I don't want to be a dad yet.
I'm not ready to be a dad. No.
Anyway, where are we?
We're just in a booth in Glenside, having a time, talking about different stuff.
It's cold in here.
It is, thank
Back
God.
of my head is freezing. I'm like,
Bald, bald, bald. All right.
should we thank our sponsor?
All right. Our good old sponsor, Tobey Maguire.
Toby Maguire.
God
our
bless
sponsor.
you. I know I ranked your trilogy second behind the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy,
But
but you understand. I mean, you produced the Nolan trilogy. You taught Christopher Nolan how to direct and all that sort of stuff. So
I mean,
really, it's also your trilogy.
Being the founder of Studio Ghibli,
Studio Ghibli.
it makes sense that he would be able to teach Christopher Nolan all these things.
Absolutely. Perfectly understandable.
Follow us on Patreon.
follow us on Patreon, support us. God bless Tobey Maguire. And we got one more Weeb song for all y'all. So same time next week. Well, I mean,
No, not
possibly
same.
normal time next week. We're not sure. I mean, I'm game for normal time next week. Hopefully.
I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If not, you won't hear anything from me until like 5 minutes before the show goes live. I'm done trying to give updates.
Just follow us on Patreon, damn it.
Just follow us on I don't know. Do we want to like give out like actual social media?
No, make a Mixler account.
Right, yeah, just make a Mixler
And you
account.
literally
turn
get
on
an email
notifications.
whenever they go live.
Right, yeah.
And when you see that Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe, you hit listen.
Or just listen to it on the show reel. Whatever it is you want to do. One of those
Still
two
working
things.
on the YouTube.
Well, that'll happen
The
at
channel's
some time.
made, but
We'll get there.
subscribe.
Yep. All right. Love ya, leave ya, and have a good week, everyone. Here is the Tokyo Ghoul opening theme, Unravel.
教えて教えてよその仕組みを僕